What Do We Do? A podcast discussing wealth management and financial planning, introducing listeners to the leaders in our community. Hosted by the founder and CEO of Great Lakes Wealth, Dewey Steffen, alongside WWJ Midday News anchor, Brooke Allen.
Hey, I'm Brooke Allen. Our goal with the What Do We Do podcast is to educate listeners on topics that impact your financial growth, your retirement, and your lifestyle.
And I'm Dewey Steffen. Join us twice a month as we welcome some of today's leaders in the community for conversations that can help with investment decisions so you can plan for and live your best life.
Here's Dewey Steffen alongside Brooke Allen.
Hey, I'm Brooke Allen. Thank you so much for being with us on the What Do We Do podcast. It is always a pleasure to be here with you. Of course, this is season 2, episode 17, number 59. And, it's just been so much fun. And, of course, Dewey Steffen, how are you?
Brooke, it's great to see you again. Episode 59.
Yeah,
we're
rocking and rolling.
Getting started.
Right? I know.
Insane. This is awesome.
It's awesome.
We're getting into the summertime here in 2022. Lots to talk about, and I'm excited to see you and get into it.
Yes, it's so exciting. And, we talk about so much on this podcast. But today, I thought we would talk about teaching kids about money.
Ooh.
We talk about being healthy, wealthy, and wise. And,
Yes.
We know that pertains to adults, but I think it should also pertain to kids. What do you think?
I think that's fantastic. And especially when school's out for summer, the college kids are home. Maybe we can teach them a little bit, reset them. But then the younger kids are out of school as well.
Right.
Let's get them working for the summer, a little summer job. Let's get them fired up and ready to go. So absolutely, we're going to tackle this topic today, and I'm excited to get into it.
Okay, so let's start with the younger kids, right? Because lead by example. I mean, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I think so. And before we get into that, Brooke, let's tell the audience again what we're here for, okay? The mission of the What Do We Do podcast is to provide information to help our community invest for success and be healthy, wealthy, and wise. With our YouTube viewers, our podcast listeners, we're going to get into it. And the first one, as you said, is to lead by example. So that's to the parents.
Right.
That's to the parents. Listen, be a good example. Show your children the right way to spend, the right way to save. Children, whether they're 2 or grown children at 22, they are going to follow your lead in investing, in spending money, but also, what words come out of your mouth, your activities, your actions. So with that, parents and adult supervisors, please lead by example. Be responsible and teach your children the same.
Do you think that, I know my kids always think that, money just appears and that little card you use is just always endless, right? But I think we need to start by explaining what money is and where money comes from, right? Yes,
it's mentoring. So every time that you are with your child and you are doing something with money or finance, whether that's paying a bill, whether that's investing, absolutely discuss what you're doing. That's how they learn. So they observe with their eyes, but they also can listen and learn with their ears. So you have to be a good parent and a good teacher. And again, lead by example.
I always thought it was so interesting in school, just in high school, even junior high, they never taught you about money, like a checking account, how to handle any of that. So I think that that's really important to address too.
So they're just now putting that into the curriculum at high school level and in the college level. And it's kind of late to the game. It should have been a long time before, but it is what it is. So we're here with our podcast, What Do We Do? So again, please download, subscribe. Here's a shameless plug. Share it, share it with your friends, your neighbors. We are at 30,000 plus downloads. We're so excited. This is season 2, but we're only as strong as our weakest link, and we are just a part of the community, and we want to thrive, not just survive. So with that, yes, you need to be responsible as a parent to your children.
Okay, so we lead by example, but for the older kids, teenagers are a little bit trickier, I think, right? Because that's when they finally start asking for money.
So we're going to start with all kids, which we just did, lead by example. And then we'll talk about maybe preteens and then the teenagers, because again, the preteens then can lead up to the teenagers. And so I really think the first one across the board is to use a piggy bank, right? That's when you start with a piggy bank. However, we actually say use a clear glass jar. And the reason we say that, Brooke, is because if it's a clear glass jar and you're dropping coins in, whether you're 5 or 15, you hear the cling, cling, and you can see the ching, ching. So with that, you are just slowly putting it in and you see it build up and you can recognize, and again, it's behavior and it's pattern. So I still have glass jars at my house. Come on over and check it out. And I used to put pennies, but now there's all the quarters and the nickels and the dimes, and it ends up to be tens or hundreds of dollars. And guess what you can do then? Take your child with that jar and take it either to the bank and they will count it for you with the machine, or you can go to the local grocery store or whatnot, and they have a machine there for a few dollars. They will sort it and they'll keep a few bucks and you can have the rest. So there's a lot of ways that you can use the old school piggy bank, modernize it to 2022 with the glass jar. Maybe the year 2052, there'll be some sort of an app jar. But until then, glass jar, piggy bank, save it up.
All right. So we see, and that's a visual thing. So kids love visuals, right? So they're seeing that and they're getting all excited, and maybe they can even think of what they might want to buy with that.
Yeah, I don't know, where did piggy bank come from anyway? Why is it a pig?
I don't know.
A doggy bank. Make it a fish bowl. Maybe that's the cash money bowl.
Exactly. Make it a big water bottle.
Absolutely, right? So anyway, so the old school piggy bank, let's make it a glass jar and fill it up with all the coins. And heck, I don't know, put some $5 bills in there too if you're really being adventurous.
Okay, but with that comes responsibility, right?
So responsibility means that let them have a little responsibility and encourage them to get involved. So let them touch the money when you're going to do something. With my children, whenever we go to church, let's say, instead of me putting $20 into the offering plate, I give each child $5 to put in there. And that way they're doing it. So they touch the money, they give the money, and they see the transaction happen. This can happen at the store. If you're going to Target and you're even paying with the Target credit card, you can go ahead and give it to the child to, tap the screen. When I do go get groceries, same thing. I actually have the children take it out of the cart, bar scan it, and put it on the other side. Let them get involved so they're not just sitting there watching, but they're getting their hands dirty and they're actually learning firsthand.
You know, what's so funny is that I was getting gas the other day and I was filling up, and Daisy says, "Mommy, that was $56. That's a lot of money."
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's what it is right now.
So did you have her outside pumping the gas for you?
No, it was too cold, so she wasn't about that.
Have you ever had them do that before?
Yep, I have.
So again, I think those are important lessons to get them out there and to wipe off your front windshield, wipe off the back one. Let them be involved. They don't have to sit in the car and watch you just pay and come back with a bag of goodies from inside the store.
Right.
Let them go and experience firsthand what it's like to take whatever it is. Maybe you're buying them some gum, some Pringles, whatever it is. But let them grab it. They definitely know how to grab it anyway when you're in there.
Sure.
But then take it to the counter, give them the money or the card, let the person behind the counter give them the receipt, put it in the bag. All these transactions, again, are behavioral and they're learned and they're part of the process.
And, I've noticed that they feel proud, when they get their own bag after they've given the money, they get their change back. And they have like a smile because they think, oh, I've just done this.
Absolutely. Right. First step is they have no idea what the change is. They don't even know how to count it. They just trust that it's there. As they get older, then again, you need to make sure that, hey, did you count that change? It's learning. And a lot of times the change is wrong or the child has to learn how to do the math. So now it goes back to schoolwork, kids. You need to study and learn your math.
Right,
yes,
for sure.
Absolutely.
So what is the next tip and for the next stage?
Yeah. So in this day and age, not too many people go into the banks or credit unions anymore, but open a bank account. So guess what? When that jar is full of coins, or they've been given money from gifts from relatives for holidays, or hopefully they're out there earning a buck with a side hustle of some sort, then they go to the bank and they deposit money. So you have to go with them and you have to open an account in their name. Minors cannot have their own bank accounts, but you can definitely have them go through the process of going to the table inside, filling out the deposit form.
Card and
it's
everything,
all
right?
important, sure. So again, in this day and age of going fast and furious, you're not helping your children to learn about money. So take them into the bank, take them into the credit union. Maybe they got to wait in line these days. Maybe not. But either way, teach them that this is part of the process.
Hey guys, it's Brooke. I want to take a minute to talk to you about Dewey Steffen and his great team at Great Lakes Wealth. Do you feel overwhelmed managing your assets? Well, Great Lakes Wealth offers Wall Street solutions with Main Street values. That is really what they are all about. They will help you develop a custom financial plan utilizing all of your assets and keeping your goals in mind. That is what Great Lakes Wealth is all about, helping you and your family achieve your financial dreams. So go to greatlakeswealth.us to schedule an appointment today and tell them Brooke sent you.
And then what else? I mean, after you open the savings account, what are the parameters around that?
I mean, whatever. Listen, you give me $100 and I'll give 10 to each of my children. And I'll keep 70 and I'll put it in mine, you know? I mean, that's okay, right?
Well, I understand that. But I mean, if you let them have this account, do they think that they're going to have immediate access to that? Or do you know what I mean? What are the rules around that if you're just starting?
Yeah, I think, again, lead by example, whatever yours are. Maybe it's all money in, no money out. Maybe it's for every 100 in there, you can take $5 out. So again, how you are able to manage the program, I think that's a part of the family discussion. But I would probably be one that says if they've earned the money, or maybe even if it's a gift, they can take a piece of that earned money or a piece of that gift and spend it, because you want to reward yourself for the hard work. Or, you know, if you just put money away and you never get to touch it, you also then don't understand its value or its, you know, its actual, its utility, right? Its use. So you have to kind of reward yourself. You know, if you have a great day at work, you get that bonus. I think you're going to go buy yourself a little something from the mall.
Right.
Maybe. So anyway, so I don't know the exact answer, but have a plan.
Right.
Back to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you plan to fail.
And maybe even have them come up with their plan too, right?
Depending on their age, for
Dialogue,
sure. But
right.
Start all of this young, get them into the bank account. Again, you know, if it's a 5-year-old child doesn't really know what's going on, again, they're still in there seeing some things, but you have to repeat the process. So if they're 15 and you're doing the same thing, you need to have that dialogue and let them figure it out. They might want to spend the whole thing that they've been given by grandma or grandpa. Maybe you let them spend 80% and keep 20, or if it's a summer job, so it's all dependent upon the circumstance, but you definitely need to go down that road.
What about giving?
This is important too. I kind of prefaced it with the earlier, topic that we talked about. You need to learn to give back. It's important to be part of a community and understand that it's not just about receiving; it is about giving. So whether it is at your, your church or place of worship, giving some money to that cause, or going and doing a charity drive. Most elementary schools and junior highs and high schools, they do have programs for the children, whether it's National Junior Honor Society, et cetera, where they have to go and they have to fundraise. They have to do some things to give back to the community. So make that a part of the money conversation. That money comes in and you can put it in a bank. You can spend it frivolously and it's gone, but you should always, again, give some to those in your community that are in need.
So, you know, Carson, we were at lunch a couple weeks ago, and he had gotten $20 from his grandfather. So we were at lunch, and he decided he wanted to buy lunch for me and his sister. So I let him buy lunch, but then I said, you know what? You were so kind to do that. I'm going to pay for lunch for that woman over there.
Sure.
So I did that, and it was so interesting because they were so like, wow, we just bought somebody else lunch, and, you know, proud of themselves. But I was trying to show them, you know, oh, well, you did this for us, so we're going to do this for someone else.
Yes. So that's important. That's that whole pay it forward movement.
Right.
And so, again, as long as the child's involved and understand it, they don't get any benefit from you being the second car at Starbucks or Tropical Smoothie Cafe, and you're in the second car and, you know, at the window, hey, it's your lucky day. The people in front of you gave you some free smoothies. Here you go. They paid for your smoothies. The child just thinks, again, that's now you're entitled.
Like,
now this is how it goes, right? So
exactly.
I'm not the biggest fan of that. I do believe to honor our servicemen and women, I absolutely, every time I see one, I at least go say thank you for your service, but I try my best if I see them, you know, about to purchase something, unless it's like a car or a house. If it's lunch or something, I'm going to go and make sure that I can thank them. And if my child is with me or my children are with me, absolutely, I'm going to have my child go up and thank them. And my child is actually going to be the one who says, we would like as a family to, you know, thank you for your service by picking up your coffee or your meal. So these are things, listeners and viewers, these are habits that you have to instill in your children, whether they're preteen or teen.
Or college kids.
Or, hey, post-teen.
Or post-teen,
There you
right?
go, preteen, teen, or post-teen. That's a new one.
Exactly.
Like it.
So as they get older, of course, it gets more complicated because money is just a big issue, right? They want to buy what they want to buy.
Yes. So we want to talk about don't just give them money, make them earn it as an allowance. So again, whether they're preteen or teen, the old school traditional way was, hey, you get an allowance. Just show up and I'll give you $5 for the week. Now it's probably $20 with this thing called inflation. But whatever it is, do some chores. Here's your list. And as a parent, this is good, responsible teaching regardless. But if you want to put a little monetary, reward in there, again, let them earn some money. It's not just the gift of an allowance. It teaches them responsibility and what it's like to be part of the family unit. But also, they'll take that money, put in that glass jar.
Right.
Then that glass jar gets full. It goes over to the bank. It gets deposited. And then as we go down this list, we're going to do something else with that deposited money. We're building a program here. I love it.
Exactly. So they've got that money, they've got that piggy bank full, and they want a credit card. Now what?
Yeah, so now it is you have the opportunity to go buy something. Okay, so maybe now you're a teenager. Maybe you're still a preteen, but you're a teenager and you want to buy something. You're at Target and you have your eyes on something. It might be the video game. It might be the newest tech gadget. It might be a piece of clothing. Whatever it is, you're going to want it. And so the child is going to want it and is going to go up to the parent and say, hey, mom, dad, can I have this? Can I have this? So you can either say no, or you can say, yes, sure, put it in the bag and I'll pay for it like I do everything else. You tell the child, okay, if you want that, then you can't have this. You know that these children always want multiple things. So whether it's, okay, you can get that, but then we're not going out to dinner, or you can buy this, but then you don't have enough for this. So you don't need to go into the weeds and talk about balance sheets and, have an Excel spreadsheet of expenses and what's going on. But you can absolutely let them know that, yes, you can make a purchase. Here's your money.
Right.
And it is scarce. So when it is gone, then you can't do something else. And you don't have to, again, connect all the dots depending on their age. It's a lot of it's concept and, again, creating good habits.
Okay, so here's an interesting thing. What if they say, but I'll pay you back?
Oh, you get that all the time. My children don't even have the money in their pocket. Like,
Right.
I'll
I'll pay you back.
I got it. When we get home, I'll give it to you. You do? Where is it? Well, it's in the bank. Where's your bank card? Well, you have it. Well, I got it on my app on my phone. So, yes. So, again, those are conversations. And when you have conversations, you are teaching and they are learning. And sometimes they're not pleasant conversations. And a little sidebar out there for all you YouTube viewers and podcast nation, you can say no to your children. You can say no and teach them. So, yes, have conversations and let them know that if you do spend money, then you probably can't spend it on something else. There's only so much of that green dough to go around.
So that brings up a good point. What about a budget for kids?
Yeah, absolutely. So they should build a budget, and that would be an item on our list. So absolutely have them write it down. Again, whether it's, if they get a bunch of money for a birthday, or as we even skip a little bit up in terms of high school graduation or a holiday, whatever it is, count the cash and then put a budget together with what we're going to do with this money. This is going into pay some bill that you have or pay something off, or this is what you can spend. So yes, you can do it at any age based on any scenario, whether it's, again, a preteen, a teen, or even those post-teens.
So what about gifts?
Well,
as far as, do you make the child buy a gift for their grandparents, or do you do that, or what do you think about that?
I don't know. That's probably a good point. So it depends again on the family as well. I don't think you need to be going and buying gifts and then give it to your child to give to someone else. The exception might be if it's a child who's going to a birthday party of a peer, of another student and classmate. I think then again, as the parent, you do have a responsibility to kind of, take care of your child a little bit, and again, give them a budget though.
Right.
In our household, if our children are going to a friend's birthday party, when they're preteen, there's a budget, maybe $20. And again, put a gift receipt in, because maybe the child gets 2 of them or doesn't want them, and the parents are like, we don't need another one of these things.
Throws it down.
Yeah. So for sure. So whatever it might be, it could be a $5 limit, $20 limit, whatever it is in your situation. But absolutely build a budget. And part of that is, buying gifts and things for family members. So you're not taking away the right to be a generous parent. You're just teaching some good habits that your children will take with them later in life for sure.
And these habits will last a lifetime, correct?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely, for sure.
So I'll be like, oh, budget, piggy bank, bank account. I got this.
Yeah, well, how about this? When we're done walking through all these, we'll walk through from, again, learning about the money,
Right.
putting it in the right place, and then moving on down the road. We'll pay some debt. We'll talk about that. Investing it, we're going to talk about that. So, again, might not have said this earlier, but this is a top 11 list. So we have a top 10 list. Everyone knows this. We always have a top 10 list, but we're going to give one bonus today because who wants to be a top 10 if you can be a top 11? So we are walking down the path to our 11 tips to make your children better, money-wise individuals.
Okay, so what's next?
Well, I think you want to teach them that there is this thing called debt, and debt is not good. So this would be more for the teenagers, approaching post-teenagers, but don't use credit cards. This might even go back to number 1, which is lead by example. So there's a difference between a debit card and a credit card. There are some that say you should use a credit card, just pay it off every month, versus a debit card because of the security and what happens if something happens with your card. That's a topic for another episode, Brooke. But in regards of just putting things on debt, putting things on your card, So teach them that you only buy what you can pay for, and how that conversation goes, is specific to the family as well. But teach them that debt in this regard is not good. So deal with debt.
Okay, so don't let them.
Yeah, don't let them get a credit card at 18. Don't let them, borrow from 2 friends to get something else. So again, we'll teach them later that there are these things called good debt. There are ways that you can leverage your situation. Absolutely. So again, for another day, maybe we'll talk about how you can deal with good debt. But for today, again, keep the children on the right path with responsible money habits.
Makes sense. And this is the best one of all. Help them learn how to make money.
Yes. So again, as you've talked about where you're going to put the money and will not spend the money, we maybe could have started with figure out your hustle and your side hustle and your 11 sources of income. As we say, the average millionaire has 7 streams of income, but who wants to be average?
Right.
An average is a C student. So listen, I don't want to be an average millionaire. I want to be an above average millionaire. So here at the What Do We Do podcast and Great Lakes Wealth, we say let's strive for 11 streams of income. So if you can, let's set up 11 side hustles. Maybe the main hustle is school.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that counts,
Maybe
I guess.
one side hustle would be an athletic activity,
Right.
little extracurricular, academic activity. But then let's get some side hustles. So let your children figure out ways to make money. And that's probably why this is a perfect time for the podcast, Brooke, is because it is summertime. Summertime.
And you're dressed for it.
Hey, let's go. Right on. So, yes. So go get that summer job.
Right.
Mow lawns, garden in the backyard, go down the street, find a job at the local ice cream parlor, talk to your parents, what you can do for them, or your grandparents. So again, this day and age, using technology, all kinds of things you can do to make some money in the summertime. So absolutely help encourage your children to find that job. Also, if they're under 14, it's different between 14 to 18 and 18 on up, but encourage greatness. Booyah.
Excellent.
So there's 10. And
Right,
then we do
Okay.
have our
All right.
special bonus.
Yes.
Ding, ding, ding.
What is number 11?
Number 11. Maybe we can put the pieces together. We've talked about getting the money, putting the money, and earning the money, finding the place to get the money. But again, the number 1 is out of the bank, because we've always said cash is trash. So once it's in the bank, that's a great holding tank because you had a jar, and we'll call the bank the tank. So you have a holding jar, you take it to the bank and you put it in a holding tank, but then you go back and you take it out. You teach your children about compound interest. You teach your children how to invest. So with that, go ahead and open them up an investment account. You can do this the same as you can at a bank with an UGMA or UTMA. You can do the same thing with an investment account. So if they're younger, again, you can do most of the work. There are 529 accounts as well. So as a parent or grandparent, you can open up a 529 and you can discuss it with your child or grandchild, but you can also open them up their own investment account. Even consider maybe if they are working, a Roth IRA for working kids. And these are, again, amazing ways to take a little bit of cash, compound it up, and then they'll have a lot more investment portfolio, and they're on their way to financial success.
That is awesome.
So it sounds like a pretty good story and a pretty good plan of attack to me, right?
I think so.
So we'll kind of run through them again, right?
Okay.
Number 1 is lead by example. Number 2 is put it in the piggy bank, but we call it the glass jar. Number 3 is let them learn firsthand what it's all about.
Pump that gas. No.
Pump that, yes. Get out there and, again, make the transactions, make it happen. Number 4 is give them the responsibility of a bank account. Is that right, to get involved?
Yep.
Number 5 is make them earn an allowance. Don't just give them gifts.
Right.
Make them earn it. Is that right? Number 6, stress the importance of giving.
Yes.
Give back. Healthy, wealthy, and wise, and it's better to give than receive. There's another one for you. Number 7, show them the opportunity cost. That, again, if you make one purchase, you can't make another purchase. You must choose.
Right.
It's called opportunity cost in economics. Number 8, teach them the danger of credit cards and other bad debt. So deal with that and teach them early. No bueno. Number 9, get them on a simple budget. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but absolutely, whether they're preteen, teen, or those college kids home from the summer, get on that budget and don't break the budget. It's very important. And the older you get, the more you realize this. Absolutely. Right. Number 10, let's help the kids figure out how to make some money. Find a side hustle, another side hustle. So let's find ways and help them figure out how to make some of that cha-ching, right? That's the top 10. That's it.
That is it.
And number 11, take all that money, open an investment account, go back through our other 58 podcasts about ways to invest for success and live your best life. And that is number 11, introduce them to investing and the concept of compound interest. And that would be the 11 ways to help your kids with money.
And even help yourself, right?
I think
because if your kids know money, then you're okay.
Absolutely, you're helping yourself, and that's very important. So, I don't know what else on that topic.
I don't know. You know what? I think it's great. I'm going to go home and make the Twinkies. Get a job and pull out the glass piggy bank.
Yes,
we're good.
Yes, start with the jar.
Right.
Put it into the bank. And then come on out and invest for success.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I think that wraps up this show. It's great to see you again.
You too, always.
Great. And with that, we will say 59 podcast episodes, over 30,000 downloads, listens, and subscribes. We want more of those. Please join us next time. But as we always say, we're just getting started.
The opinions expressed in this program are for general information purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or any specific security. It's only intended to provide education about the financial industry. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult your financial advisor prior to investing. Any past performance discussed during this program is no guarantee of future results. Any indices referenced for comparison are unmanaged and cannot be invested into directly. As always, please remember investing involves risks and possible loss of principal capital. Please seek advice from a licensed professional.